Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. You know, any original G.I. Joe toy is pretty great. Pretty much perfect, right? Ha! I'm gonna tear off those rose-tinted glasses and show you the truth!
Today, we're taking a look at the top 5 most improved G.I. Joe toys.
Because sometimes Hasbro gets things right, and it's only fair that we talk about such occasions too. But before we get to the list properly, here are some honorable mentions.
Honorable mention, our own improvements.
People always think they can do better than major corporations, and you know what? Sometimes they're right.
There are thousands and thousands of customs out there, figures and vehicles that have been reassembled and or repainted to make them better. There are sites dedicated to this, like JoeCustoms.com, and sometimes customizers absolutely nail it. Honorable mention too, the Swivel Arm Battle Grip.
This was the first improvement Hasbro ever made to the original toy line.
The original 1982 figures had arms that could only swivel up and down, which, among other things, made holding larger weapons look pretty stupid. Well, the original toys must have sold well enough to convince Hasbro to upgrade them, adding a swivel joint to the elbows, adding articulation and play value. The amount of moving joints really blew other toy lines like Star Wars out of the water.
But now, let's get to the list proper, shall we?
Number 5. Night Force figures. In 1988 and 89, Toys R Us got an exclusive G.I. Joe sub-team, Night Force. All figures and vehicles were straight repaints of older toys.
And they look freaking awesome!
They had a great cohesive look to them, and the only reason they're lowest on the list is because most of the original figures, like Shockwave or Outback, already looked pretty damn good, so I can't really call them most improved. Figures like Lightfoot and Psych-Out do match that criteria though. Number 4. Battle Android Trooper. I have often sung the praises of the modern Battle Android Trooper on this show. Hell, these toys have appeared so much here, they're giving Erwin R. Shyster a run for his money. But I can't say enough how impressed I was with them. The increase in detail, the slightly larger size that actually works when you put them next to old figures, since it makes them look more menacing. They're still only number 4 on the list, because the original was already a damn good figure. Number 3. Snake Eyes version 1 to version 2.
An improvement that's from the original line, and what an improvement it is!
The first Snake Eyes figure, while still looking unique, did share most of his body with other 1982 figures. The 1985 version had all unique body parts and was far more detailed, both in sculpt and paint applications. That last thing wasn't really difficult to achieve, considering the original had 0 paint applications on him. Another great improvement was in the accessories. Version 2 had a backpack, a sword, and, oh yeah, his freaking wolf! It's no surprise this version is the most iconic look that the character has, and the one that most people think of when you mention the name Snake Eyes. Number 2. Scarlet Comics Pack, along with most of the original 1982 Joes. Scarlet, the first woman in G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
They did their best, I suppose.
But the head sculpt isn't that great. In fact, it's pretty awful. Enter the comic tie-in packs that mostly used body parts from the original line, with new head sculpts. These ran from 2004 to 2006, and gave us some awesome updates to classic figures. Scarlet here is from 2005, and came with Breaker and the holographic Cobra Commander.
I mean, the figure is plastic, the character is supposed to be a hologram.
This set also came with a reprint of Comic Issue 9. Scarlet finally has a decent head sculpt, and the coloring is on par, if not better than the original. And almost all of the original Joe team got upgrades in this comic series. Characters like Short Fuse and Zap, too many to name, and most of them look like they belong in the same unit. The comic packs were pretty damn great, is what I'm saying here.
And the very best example of that was...
Number 1. Comic Packs Covergirl. Covergirl had much the same problem as Scarlet, the head sculpt. I mean, it looks like she has a balloon for her head, for crying out loud. The figure itself is also pretty plain. That all changed in 2006 when she got a second figure.
Oh yeah, it took 23 freaking years for Covergirl to get a second toy.
And it was totally worth the wait. Awesome sculpt, awesome detailing, awesome update. This may be my favorite female figure of the entire line, classic and modern. And there you have it, the top 5 most improved toys.
Maybe sometime in the future I'll do a list that's the opposite of this. The worst later versions of G.I. Joe toys. We'll have to see. And speaking of seeing, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share and subscribe if that's your thing.